We've arrived at our destination. We've got our ARB awning and we're going to deploy it because it's pretty hot and sunny out here. People want shade to start cooking or have a cool frosty one, so let's see what it takes to undo it. So we have on the waterproof bag here a very robust zipper system that's evolved over quite a few years, as the whole awning has, as a matter of fact. So we're going to deploy it here. 2 safety straps hold it in position. We're going to undo those. And if you look inside here, you'll notice there's nested 2 arms. These are going to be part of the system and hold it up. Now, what I do on these arms is I put a little mark, you see here. That gets the tip of this pretty darn close to where it needs to be for when I'm hooking it up. So on both sides, again, that mark's there. Now, we'll unroll the awning. And we're going to drop down the 2 vertical posts, which again are stored, nested in there. Okay, so we've dropped our 2 vertical poles. Now I'm going to go over to the horizontal poles and engage those. They just fit into a small hole here on the end. Fortunately, I have that staged by going to that little mark that we talked about earlier. Same for this side. It's great, it's windy today, so this is giving you a good representation. Okay, so I'm rotating and locking in position. I'll put a couple Velcro straps on, hold it in position. Now, there's no right height for this. It depends on, what you're trying to shelter yourself from. Rain, sun, what have you. Some cases, a lean-to effect like this might be great, especially if you have driving rain coming in at you. But for most people, they're going to want to lift it. So, telescopic. That looks good there. This side, of course, telescopic. Yeah, a little bit higher there. Sweet. Okay, optional guy wires from ARB. These are reflective, very good at night. The system does come with small stakes and guy wires, but for really windy areas, not quite up to the chore. I'd recommend something more robust like these. And thankfully, someone left some stakes in the ground for me. So, cinch that one up. Go over here. Another ARB stake. God, that's simple. Okay, now I'm just going to go around, make sure everything's trim, straight. Velcro straps are all on, because I may want to put a room on here now, or a mosquito net, or maybe a panel, or maybe a lean-to. I want to make sure that everything is nice and snug and tight and ready for that. We don't want any mishaps of the big wind coming up, and there you have it. That is darn solid. On a hot day like today, an ARB awning is a wonderful product to have applied to your vehicle. This one has a lot of features on it, make it robust, a long-lasting product. The bag that houses the actual awning it's made out of a very thick PVC waterproof material. It's technically a 26 ounce per square yard material. That just means it's very heavy duty. It'll allow the awning to stay completely dry no matter what rain and foul weather you're going through. The awning material itself is made out of a 9 ounce per square yard material. It's a rip-stop material, so if it gets a little tear in it, it'll actually stop and won't just continue on. It's treated against mold and mildew, and importantly, it's also fire retardant. So if you're at a campfire and an ember comes up and lands on it, it'll self-extinguish, it won't ignite, and that's very important. There's a lot of features on this that I would ask you to look at so you can understand the quality of it. Hinges up here in the far corner here, they're pliable. So in the event you don't have your tent pegs and guy wires nice and snug, if that tends to blow over a little bit, both the hinges here and the hinges back at the base are flexible, and they'll allow for a little bit of flexibility without breakage. You won't find those in some awnings on the market. On the front side of the awning here, you'll see there's a groove that runs the full length of the front rail. That allows the optional windbreak or lean-to to be added. There's many features that can be added to the awning. We have fly screens, a full fly mosquito room, if you will. We have 3 panels that can be added to 1, 2, or 3 sides. We also have a room with a floor, which essentially turns it into a tent. The ARB awning, of course, is a quality product, and we want to make sure it gets to you in one piece. So when we ship it, it comes in a very large, very solid cardboard tube. When you get the awning, you're going to pull the end of the tube off, slide the awning out, and mount it to your vehicle. Now, one of the common questions is, how do I install this on a vehicle? Well, we're going to go about the back side of this awning and show you exactly how that's done. On the back side of the awning is an extrusion that runs the full length. You get hardware with the awning, you don't get a mounting bracket. Sometimes you can bolt straight into a canopy or a roof rack that exists. Sometimes you need an optional bracket like the one we have here that ARB builds. But in either case, you get hardware with it. Here's an example of the hardware, this little guy here. The head of that bolt is going to slide in that groove, and that can be positioned anywhere down this roof rack. So let's recap the ARB awning. Some of the key features. The ripstop material is quite heavy duty. It's treated against mold and mildew. It's fire retardant, very important. It's quite easy to deploy, very easy to put away. Structurally, it's very strong. The backing plate is very heavy duty extrusion. The front plate, again, heavy duty extrusion. We have flexible joints, plenty of options. As we mentioned, you expand it with mosquito rooms or rooms with floors or added panels for the right, left, front, whichever way you want to configure it. We have a product that's compact on your vehicle when not in use, but deploys to a very large shaded area and or for rain. Well, time to go home, so we're going to put the awning away and get it ready for the trip home. So very simple. Undo the guy wires. Don't forget your pegs in the ground, by the way. They're bright orange, they're there to be seen. Okay, so now we'll just throw those guy wires up there so we can roll them up. And we'll undo these Velcro straps. Pretty straightforward, very easy. One can imagine if it's raining out, you'd want to be able to do this in a hurry, and it is pretty fast with the ARB awning. I've opened and closed mine on literally hundreds of trips. It's still standing up well. And by the way, if you ever do have dramas, there's full spare parts available. Okay, so now we've got it ready to roll up. We're going to park the vertical poles in the little garages here, loosen off our horizontal poles, and then roll it up. There's one. And yeah, we got to close that one up a wee bit. There we go. Okay, now we're going to take these ones off and roll it up. You'll notice the coatings for this are on the back side, on the underside of it. That's what will stop the mildew and rain and fire retardants as well. Okay, now I usually park it up here, double check that I've got, yeah, they're in good position. Okay, now Velcro strap, both sides. There's two of these for securing it. There's one. There's two. Okay, now it's in position. Just drop the bag over it. Simple as that. Dual zipper, one at each end. I recommend keeping the zippers at the far end for rain and such. Although rain won't get through this, it's, as we mentioned earlier, it is waterproof material. But you do have zippers for flexibility at both ends. And that's your ARB awning.